Have you ever found yourself wearing a mask, pretending to be someone you're not just to fit in or be accepted? I know I have. For years, I chased the illusion of perfection, believing that if I could just be the perfect daughter, the perfect friend, the perfect employee, I would finally feel worthy of love and belonging. But the truth is, no matter how many masks we wear or boxes we check, we can never truly experience the depth and richness of authentic relationships until we learn to embrace our true selves. I've been a chameleon my entire life, adapting to the expectations and demands of those around me. From the straight A student to the reliable best friend, I thought that if I could just be everything to everyone, I would find happiness and fulfillment. But even when I reached the pinnacle of my career, starting my own business with a close friend, I found myself on the brink of losing everything. Within 6 months, our once thriving partnership had crumbled. We were out on the streets, being sued from every angle and at each other's throats. I was flat broke, had no home, no business, no job, and had lost one of my best friends. I'd made all these life moves to prove I was somebody. And yet, here I was, a grown woman, relying on my mother to pay my bills and sleeping on friends' couches. Even the man I was dating at the time, who once called me the strongest person he knew, suddenly ghosted me. I hit rock bottom when I found myself sitting in my car, wearing all black, staking out his house like a scene from a movie, desperate to understand what had happened. For the first time in my life, the overachiever, the boss chick, had no achievements left to hide behind. I had made a complete mess of my life. The truth was, even before my crash, I was exhausted. I was working tirelessly to climb the corporate ladder, tolerating things in relationships I'm too ashamed to admit, and constantly trying to be the fixer for my family's problems. But it was in this moment of utter despair and brokenness that I finally realized the truth. I had been living a lie. I had been so busy trying to be the person I thought everyone else wanted me to be that I had completely lost sight of who I truly was. And that's when it hit me. The key to cultivating authentic relationships isn't about being perfect or having it all together. It's about having the courage to be vulnerable, to show up as our true selves, flaws and all. Because here's the thing, vulnerability is not weakness. It's the birthplace of connection, joy, creativity, and love. When we have the courage to be vulnerable, to let others see our true selves, we create space for genuine connection and understanding. But vulnerability is scary. It requires us to let go of the masks we wear and the boxes we try to fit into. It means risking rejection, judgment, and even heartbreak. But the alternative, living a life of inauthenticity and shallow connections, is far more painful in the long run. So, how do we begin to cultivate authentic relationships? It starts with self-love and acceptance. We cannot expect others to love and accept us fully if we do not first extend that same compassion to ourselves. We must learn to embrace our imperfections, to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, and to believe in our inherent worthiness. This isn't always easy, especially in a world that often values perfection over authenticity. But by practicing self-compassion, we begin to break free from the cycle of self-criticism and shame that keeps us stuck in patterns of inauthenticity. Dr. Kristen Neff, a leading researcher on self-compassion, has identified 3 key components of self-compassion: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. By treating ourselves with kindness, recognizing that we are not alone in our struggles, and being present with our emotions without judgment, we can begin to cultivate a deeper sense of self-love and acceptance. And as we learn to love and accept ourselves more fully, we naturally begin to show up more authentically in our relationships. We become less concerned with trying to be the person we think others want us to be, and more focused on being true to ourselves. But cultivating authentic relationships isn't just about being vulnerable and practicing self-compassion. It's also about setting boundaries, communicating our needs and desires, and being willing to walk away from relationships that no longer serve us. Too often, we stay in relationships that are unfulfilling or even toxic because we're afraid of being alone or we don't believe we deserve better. But the truth is, we are worthy of relationships that uplift and inspire us, that challenge us to grow and become our best selves. And sometimes that means letting go of relationships that no longer align with our values or our authentic selves. It means being willing to have difficult conversations, to set clear boundaries, and to walk away when necessary. Because at the end of the day, cultivating authentic relationships isn't about having a perfect life or perfect connections. It's about being true to ourselves, even when it's hard. It's about having the courage to be vulnerable, to love ourselves fully, and to show up authentically in our relationships. And the beauty of this journey is that it's never too late to start. No matter where you are in your life, no matter how many masks you've worn or boxes you've tried to fit into, you have the power to begin again. You have the power to cultivate a life that aligns with your true self, filled with love, joy, and meaningful connections. So I invite you to join me on this path of self discovery and transformation. Together, we can learn to embrace our imperfections, practice self compassion, and show up authentically in our relationships. We can create a world where vulnerability is celebrated, where authenticity is valued, and where we all feel worthy of love and belonging, just as we are. It won't be easy, and there will be moments of discomfort and fear along the way. But I promise you, the rewards of living a life of authenticity and genuine connection are worth it. So let today be the day you choose to take that first step. Let today be the day you commit to cultivating authentic relationships, to loving yourself fully, and to showing up as your true self in every aspect of your life. Because you, my friend, are worthy of a life filled with love, joy, and meaningful connections. You are worthy of a life that sets your soul on fire and fills your heart with purpose and passion. And it all starts with the courage to be vulnerable, to love yourself fully, and to show up authentically in your relationships. Thank you.